Good morning, everyone. Myself K. Kiran Kumar, working as lecturer in EC department. Presently working at Jawaharlal Nehru Government Polytechnic, Hyderabad. Today I am going to tell a topic in digital communication subject, which is currently in 4th semester, and the subject code is EC 404. It is under C18 curriculum. So this is my details. In today's class, we will discuss the introduction to the digital communication systems. Now we look at the objectives of the topic. On completion of this period, we will able to know different types of communication schemes. Then we will see, just briefly we will discuss about analog communication, then digital communication, and differences between analog and digital communications. So these topics we will cover now. Now just coming to the introduction, as we know, so communication is the transmission and reception and processing of information, which is also called as message signal and also modulating signal, with use of electronic circuits. Generally in any communication systems, so basically it will contain three parts. One is called a source, which will give the information, or it is the origin of the information. Then second one will be destination, where we will receive or where the signal will reach, that is called as destination. And third part will be called as transmission medium or channel. So means the channel will connect to the transmitter as well as the receiver, and these three parts we can say, so these are called as basic parts of a communication system. Here channel may be two types. One is a wired channel and one is wireless channel. Wired channel means with help of physical connection we are transmitting the information, whereas in wireless channel without any physical medium, that is free space, air means, so in the free space we are doing the transmission as well as reception will occur. So here this is called as channel. Now with help of block diagram we'll explain these things. In any communication, that may be analog or digital, so these are the three basic parts. Now just look at the block diagram. The first block will be transmitter, second will be channel, and third will be receiver. Right, now if you look at the diagram, so as you know, maybe you are having some idea about this block diagram. So whichever you are studied in analog communication systems in the previous semester. Now see once. First input signal means directly the signal or message signal to be transmitted will be given to the transmitter. So in the transmitter, as you know, we are doing the major step called as modulation, means this message signal will be combined with the high frequency carrier signal so that it will travel up to longer distances, and which will travel with speed of light. Maybe you know these things, that is advantage of modulation. Then we will do the amplification, then we will do the power amplification, means based on the different types of modulations. Then these will be done totally at the transmitter. So finally the transmitter will give the signal, that is called as transmitted signal. Then this transmitted signal will be transmitted through a channel. The channel may be wired channel or wireless channel. Then after the channel, the signal will be received by the receiver, where we will do the demodulation, where we will do the required amplification of the received signal, because in the channel the signal amplitudes will be decreases. So here we have to do the amplification also. So this processing will be done at the receiver. Finally, we are getting the original message signal, which is given at the input of the transmitter. So this is simple explanation about the block diagram of a communication system. Now, if you look at here one more, dotted line some box is given, that is noise and interference and distortion. So maybe you know this idea, noise, interference, distortion in a communication system majorly occurs in the channel itself. Means these are the unwanted signals, so which will be added to the required signal or whichever is the important for us. So this will be added the channel. So this is about the some details about the block diagram of a communication system. As we discussed, communication systems are two types. One is called as analog communication system, and second one will be digital communication system. As we know, in analog communication, information or message signal will be sent or will be transmitted in the form of continuous signal. Means the signal which will be vary with respect to the time, that is called as continuous signal. Means in analog communication, message signal, carrier signal used for modulation all are continuous in nature. Therefore, total modulated signal or transmitted signal is also a continuous signal in analog communication. And in this analog communication, we can give example, best example is human voice, and similarly video, picture information, and music signal. All these are some examples for continuous signals or analog signals. As we told, in analog communication, signals are continuous in nature. So these are the, see, this particular figure will show you the analog waveforms or continuous signals. If you look at the diagram, that is with the signal mentioned in blue color or red color. So here the amplitude is keep on changing with respect to the time. Here we will take one more. So take any type of signal where the amplitude of the signal is changing with respect to time. That type of signal we can say continuous signals. So as shown in the diagram. Right. So this is about the just briefly details about the analog communication. Now we'll see what is meant by a digital communication. Just we'll see the basic details or basic definition. So in the digital communication, information is sent or transmitted in the form of discrete signals. Maybe no, discrete means here the amplitude will be not continuous or discontinuous with respect to time. So here the examples for this one is, so binary coded numbers, that is binary numbers, maybe I have seen digital, alphanumeric codes, graphical symbols, all these are example for digital communication or digital signals. So therefore in digital communication the signals are discrete or discontinuous in nature. Just look at the diagrams. So these four waveforms we can say. So if you look at the amplitudes of all the signals, so here maybe if you look at the first one, it is called as a group of pulses or it is called a square waveform. Maybe if you know the square waveform, so which has either high level or low level. Means here at some particular levels amplitude will be 0. After some time it will be high, low, like this. So therefore it is discontinuous with respect to time. Similarly, if you look at the second one, here also, here signal will be high or low like that. So that one maybe you are seeing. So generally one will be represented with a high level signal and 0 will be represented with, so 0 amplitude signal where amplitude is 0. Maybe you know this representation in digital electronic subject. So all these are examples for digital signals. Therefore we can say square waveform is a example for digital signal or binary numbers, we can say. So this is about some details about analog and digital communication, basic difference. Right, as we discussed in the just now, the basic communication system will contain source, channel and destination. This block diagram already we explained. So source means where we will transmit the message signal. With help of channel, the signal will be transmitted to the destination where we will do the demodulation or amplification to the required level. Then finally we will get the output, so which will be same as the input waveform. Right, now we will see the differences between analog and digital communications. As we discussed, in analog communication, information or message or input is in continuous form, whereas in digital communication, the input signal is in discrete form or discontinuous form. And digital communication is more immune to noise than analog signals, because so noise is also a continuous signal. So this noise effect will be more with the analog signal because of its continuous nature. Whereas digital signals are discontinuous, even noise is added, easily we can nullify the effect of noise. So therefore we can say digital communication is more immune to noise than analog signals or analog communication. Next one, and these digital signals are more simple to measure and more easy to evaluate than analog signals. If you look at the digital signal, as we told, only which has two levels, that is maybe high level or low level, whereas if we consider the continuous signal or analog signal, in this one infinite amplitudes are present. Therefore digital signals are simple to measure and easy to evaluate. And this one, next to important advantage of digital communication, we can say digital signals are better suited for processing and multiplexing. So as I told just now, the processing will be very simple compared to the analog one, and similarly, and multiplexing also very simple. As you know, multiplexing means transmitting several signal by using a single channel. That is called as multiplexing in communication. And next one more important is transmission in digital signals can be detected and corrected more easily. Means even some if errors occur in the digital communication, easily we can identify and easily we can correct by using some different methods. And here one more important advantage of digital communication is accuracy is more compared to the analog signals. And one more, next one, that capacity of a transmission system can be increased in digital communication over analog communication. So next one more, transmission of different signals of traffic ranging from telephony as well as telegraphy to the data and video information can take place in digital system. So this is also one of the advantages of digital communication. Next one, digital signals are easy to encrypt and decrypt compared to analog signals. We will see encryption decryption means so converting known signal into unknown form, that is called as encryption. The reverse process is called as decryption. We will see the details. Next one, so these things we have seen up to now. So like once again, digital signals are having more accuracy, multiplexing and further passing will be very simple. Then digital signals are simpler than analog signals and multiplexing will be easy. Errors will be easily detectable. Effect of noise will be less in digital signals. So these are the some of the advantages of digital signal over analog signals or analog communication. Now if we coming to the one more major difference, so this digital communication requires more bandwidth than analog communication. So this is the drawback of a digital communication over analog communication. And one more, if analog signals has to be transmitted with help of digital communication, these analog signals must be converted into digital codes prior to the transmission. Means because in the digital communication, all the processing or all the input should be in discontinuous form. Therefore, analog signal has to be converted into digital form before transmission or before processing in the digital communication. And after completion of the processing or after completing the reception, the signals has to be converted into analog form at the receiver. So this is one extra thing we have to do in the digital communication while transmitting and receiving the analog signals. And this will be done with help of analog to digital conversion. That is, it is a device which will convert analog signal into digital form at the transmitter. At the receiver, since we require analog form, therefore we will require another device called as digital to analog conversion, where digital signals or discontinuous signals will be converted into original analog form. So this has to be done at the digital communication. Therefore, additional encoding and decoding circuitry will be required. And one more drawback or the difference is the digital transmission requires synchronization between transmitter and receiving. And that is, synchronization will be done between the transmitter as well as the receiver. Therefore, digital systems require expansive clock recovery circuits in the receivers. So to maintain the synchronization, these recovery circuits will be compulsory required in the digital communication systems. And here, these digital transmission systems are not compatible with the old transmission systems. So these about, we can say, differences between digital communication and analog communication, or we can say advantages and disadvantages of digital communication over analog communication systems. So that is about the topic. Now we look at the basic block diagram of a digital communication system. So with help of a diagram, we'll explain this topic now. If you look at the diagram, the first block will be source input, then source encoder, next channel encoder, then modulator. Maybe you know this block modulator already maybe are covered. Then channel, so channel also same. Then demodulator, channel decoder, source decoder, and finally destination. So these are the blocks of a basic digital communication system. Now we'll briefly explain one by one block. Just look at the diagram once. We'll explain each block now. Okay, so before going to explain the total details of the block diagram, first we will know modulation. What is mean by modulation, which is very important in the transmitter side. Right, first we'll see what is a concept of a modulation or what is mean by modulation. So maybe in communication, in any communication, that is maybe either analog or digital communication, we'll do modulation. So here maybe know the fundamental definition of a modulation. It is a process where amplitude of the maybe in the analog communication, you know that here amplitude of the carrier signal is varied with respect to the amplitude of the message signal. So that is analog modulation. But whereas in this one, in the digital communication, we are using discontinuous signals. Therefore, just to see this one here, the definition will be look like it is a process in which amplitude of each sample is made proportional to the instantaneous value of the message signal at the time of sampling. We will see that's what. So this is one of the important process done in the digital communication. Sampling, we'll see that detail. So here maybe know according to the type of the system or according to the type of the communication system, we'll use modulators and demodulators. So modulators will be done at the transmitter, demodulation will be done at the receiver. So as we told, so whenever input is analog signal, this signal has to be converted into digital form before giving to the transmitter. Therefore, we will use A to D converters. Similarly, at the receiver, to get back the original analog signal, we will receive D to A converter, that is digital to analog converter. Suppose if a system involving two-way communication, we will use a modem. Means, so by using a transmitter, we have to able to transmit, at the same time we have to receive the signals if required, then that is called as transceiver. Means with help of one device or one component, we are doing the transmission as well as the reception. Like example, we will say mobile. Here by using the mobile, we can transmit the signal as well as receive the signal. For that one, we will require a called extra device in the communication called as modem, that is which is a combination of modulator as well as demodulator. Means during the transmission it will act like a modulator, during the reception of the signal it will act like a demodulator. Maybe you know these figures. These things we are seen in the analog communication, that is analog modulation, where we require two inputs. Two inputs are continuous forms. One is input signal and one is carrier signal. Look at the first one. First figure. In this one, red line will be the carrier signal, and that green color will be the modulating input. Whenever we are doing adding these two, we are getting AM signal, FM signal, PM signal, that is amplitude modulated signal, frequency modulated signal, and phase modulated signals. Maybe you are seeing that one. The first one, second waveform will be the amplitude modulated output, where only amplitudes will change, where frequency and phase will be constant. Similarly, in the third figure, if you look at the waveform, only the frequency is changing, so amplitude throughout will be constant and phase also constant. Similarly, if you look at the last waveform, so here that is called as PM output. Here amplitude and frequency both will be constant, only phase of the signal will varies. So these are the some practical waveforms of analog modulation systems. Analog modulation we have seen in the analog communication. So just now whatever we discussed, just to try to summarize these things. So here the continuation of the black diagram we'll see now. In the next session we'll see that. Just if we summarize whatever we discussed in this period, we discussed different types of communication systems. Then we have seen differences between analog and digital communication. Then also we are covered advantages and disadvantages of digital communication over analog communication systems. So this is the summary whatever we discussed now. Now based on this one, try to answer these questions. Communication systems in which information is transmitted in communication continuous form, is option A analog communication, option B digital communication. Maybe easily can tell, just to see the question. So option answer will be, so that will be option A, that is analog communication. Multiplexing and processing, maybe know these two terms now, is best suited for analog communication and digital communication. Answer will be very simple. So digital communication. So that is these two are the advantages of digital communication. Channel capacity is more in. So first to channel capacity. So just look at the means the channel capacity means the information carried by the channel, we can say. Information carried by the channel is more in analog communication, in digital communication. So answer will be, so this is also one of the advantages of digital communication, that is channel capacity is more. We'll see this detailedly. We will see one topic, this one, what is mean by channel capacity, on what factors it will depends. We will see that one. Okay. Next one. Try to guess the advantage of digital communication in the given option. So that is noise immunity, ease of multiplexing, ease of encryption, and D will be none. So answer will be all are correct. Now we'll look at some of the important questions from based on this topic. First question, what is analog communication? Second one, what is digital communication? What are the differences between analog and digital communications? Now we'll look at one more topic. As we told just now, we'll discuss what is meant by a channel capacity of a communication system. Now just we'll see the objectives of the topic. Upon completion of this topic, we will able to know information capacity of a channel. Possible we'll see Hartley law, Shannon's limit. All these are related to the channel capacity of a channel. If possible, we'll cover sampling theorem, which is very important in the digital communication. Just we'll recap. Just now we discussed about different types of communication systems. Then we have seen difference between analog and digital communication. Then advantages of in each communication as well as disadvantages. Right, first we will see what is mean by capacity of a channel. The amount of information that can be transmitted of a given channel is called as information capacity. So these channels are practically band limited, means which are having specific bandwidth. The bandwidth of a given channel will specify the range of the frequencies that can be passed through a channel. As we know, so bandwidth is a range of higher cutoff frequency and lower cutoff frequency that will be passed through a given channel. Therefore, they pass frequencies from DC to some upper cutoff frequency, or we can say it has both lower and upper cutoff frequencies. That is called as bandwidth. So here there is a limit to the rate at which information can be sent along the channel with a given bandwidth and signal to noise ratio. Means we can't transmit all the information throughout the given channel. It will be limited based on the bandwidth of the channel and signal to noise ratio, means it is a ratio of signal power to the noise power. So therefore, for example, if channel bandwidth is more, therefore we can transmit more number of signals. If transmitted channel bandwidth is less, we can't transmit the more number of signals, or we can't transmit the more bandwidth input signals. So this is there is some limitation. But to transmit the so much information or more signals, that may be possible by using a channel, but there is a sufficient time to send. We'll see these techniques. So that is called as multiplexing. That is a definition and some details about the information capacity of a channel or channel capacity. Now we will see Hartley law, which will give the fundamental details about the channel capacity or formula on what factors it will depends. That is Hartley law. This Hartley law gives the relation between time, comma, information capacity and channel bandwidth. So it will give the relation between these three terms. So that is given as I equal to k into small t into b, where I is called the information capacity of the channel, where k is the constant, t will be the transmission time, and b will be the channel bandwidth. See once. I is amount of information or channel capacity. K will be the constant, T will be available time, B will be channel bandwidth. So this will be called as Hartley law. Therefore, from this law we can say that information rate or information transmission will be proportional to the bandwidth of the channel. Means if bandwidth of the channel is more, we can transmit more information. If channel bandwidth is less, we can send less information. So this is about the, therefore we can say information, amount of information will be directly proportional to the bandwidth of the channel. And here we told one k constant, so that will be depends upon the type of the data coding and signal to noise ratio of the channel. That is a constant factor. As we told, the greater the bandwidth of the channel, the greater will be the amount of information can be transmitted in a given time. But we can say from this law once again, the same amount of information can be transmitted over a narrow channel, means where bandwidth will be less but it will take more time. If available time is more, by using a less bandwidth channel we can transmit more information. Right, that is about channel capacity. Now we'll see noise in a channel. So here we have to consider noise in a channel also while you are discussing the bandwidth of the channel. So here, so because of this noise reduces the amount of information that can be transmitted in a given bandwidth. So means the greater will be the amount of noise, lower will be the channel capacity. If noise is ignored, there is no limit to the amount of data that can be transmitted over a given bandwidth. As we told, so this channel capacity will be limited by bandwidth of the channel, and next important will be signal to noise ratio. So see, look at the waveform, practical waveform. So here you can see the effect of noise. Because of the noise in the channel, how the signal waveform will change, you can observe in that waveform. So here what I am mentioning, that are the random variation of the amplitude at certain levels is due to the noise. Okay, now we'll see one more theorem in this topic, that is Shannon's-Hartley law or Shannon's-Hartley theorem. So this Shannon's-Hartley law will be given by C equal to 2 into B into log m, where this log will be the natural logarithm, that is base 2, where C is called as information capacity of a channel and B will be the channel bandwidth, where the units are hertz, and next m will be number of levels in the signal will be transmitted, that is called as encoding levels. We will see that one. So that is Shannon's-Hartley law. If the channel uses low pass filter, so which will passes the frequencies from 0 to some maximum frequency, then highest frequency will be transmitted by is called as B, that is channel bandwidth. So as you know, binary signal or a digital signal of alternate ones and zeros will be transmitted through a channel. Logic 1 will be represented with 1 volt and logic 0 will be represented with -1, means. So to represent 1, binary 1, will take positive value. To represent low signal will represent with either 0 volts or negative value. Therefore, bit rate of 2b, bit rate means number of bits transmitted in a second. Of 2b, the frequency of the signal will be b. Only the fundamental waveform will pass through a channel. Thus, therefore, we can say, so whenever we are considering digital information or binary information, the channel capacity will be twice the bandwidth, that is C equal to 2 times of B. Here we will see this one, how the waveforms will be represented. These levels will be means after M, we told M will be having the different levels, different encoding levels to be transmitted. So these levels like minus 1 volt, minus 0.5 volts, plus 0.5 volts and plus 1 volt. So which will indicate that if you look at this example, here I am using 4 different voltages. Therefore, it is called as 4 level coding technique. Similarly, after doing the transmission at the receiver, each voltage indicates 2 bits of information, that is which will take 2 bits to express 4 different possibilities. Maybe know this one in the digital circuits. Whenever we are taking 2 values or 2 bits, the possibilities may be 4, that is 2 power of 2, that is 4. Therefore, to transmit twice as much information will with the same bandwidth. Therefore, we discussed about bandwidth, time, information capacity, and then we have seen Shannon's limitation over Hartley. Then what is meant by encoding levels, briefly we have seen. So then Shannon's limit, that is given by, so that thing. So the Shannon's limit further given as, that is whatever we told, C equal to 2 into B into log 2m, that will be further given as, that is called as only Shannon's limit, that is given by C equal to B into log 2 1 plus S by n, where C is called as information capacity of a channel. The units are bits per second. B will be the bandwidth, which units are hertz, and S by n is called as signal to noise ratio, which is a pure ratio or value, so which is not in decibels. Maybe this is the basic relation in the mathematics. Log base 2n will be given as log base 10n divided by log 2 base 10. So maybe you know this one. This is a fundamental one. As we told just now, C equal to 2b into log 2m, and C equal to second equation Shannon's limit, that is C equal to b into log 2 of 1 plus S by n. So here these two are almost the same. The first, these two equations will represent that maximum rate that one applies in a given situation is that one that gives a lower bit rate or lower data rate. So this is about the information capacity of a given channel. So just with this one we'll stop the class. Just we'll summarize whatever we discussed. Therefore, up to now we discussed about what is mean by communication system. Different types of communication systems you are covered. Then we have seen differences between analog and digital communication systems, which is also covers advantages and disadvantages of digital communication over analog communication system. Then we have seen information capacity of a channel, then the factors affecting the information capacity of a channel. Then we have seen Hartley's theorem. Then we have seen Shannon's theorem or Shannon's limitation of information capacity. And then we have seen block diagram of a digital communication system. Next, the further topics, that is, as we told in the objective, sampling. That is, what is meant by sampling, what is the necessity of doing the sampling. All those topics we will see in the next session. So with this we will stop the class. We will meet in the next class. Thank you very much.